Today's webinar centered on the theme, Building a Viable Society in Challenging Times, the Critical Role of Women, is both a call to action and a celebration of the indispensable role women play in shaping societies, especially in times of uncertainty and transformation. In times like these, when uncertainty clouds our path and the challenges before us seem daunting, it is essential to reflect on the example of two individuals who not only lived through challenging times, but also managed to transform those times into opportunities for growth, resilience, and progress. The challenges facing our societies today, be they economic instability, insecurity, social inequality, and global crises, demand innovative solutions and inclusive approaches. Women, as agents of change, bring unique perspectives, compassion, and determination to the process of addressing these issues.
Mama's life and work reminds us that women possess not only the strength, but also the wisdom, resilience, and innovation to shape a better society, even in the most trying circumstances, which she was famously associated, having been described by her husband as the jewel of inestimable value. The challenges we face, from economic instability to social inequality, cannot be addressed without the active participation, leadership, and vision of women. This webinar brings together His Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria, Senator Shettima, GCON, Her Excellency Dr. Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, state governors, first ladies, thought leaders, policy makers, and advocates to explore practical strategies for empowering women to lead the change in building a more viable and inclusive Nigeria.
Also speaking at the webinar, Vice President Kashim Shettima restated the commitment of the Bola Tinubu administration to upholding the rights of women and reversing the uncertainties that deepen inequality in Nigeria. The Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, who was the keynote speaker at the webinar, noted that November the 25th marks the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and the start of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence.
We are honored to celebrate not only the legacy of Chief H.I.D, Awolowo, in whose memory this foundation was established, but also the many women who continue to push our nation towards balance and equity. Mrs. Awolowo was a critical pillar in the formation of modern Nigeria, a matriarch like no other. She devoted her life to advancing the place of women and influencing policies that favored their rights and opportunities. She stood by her husband, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, in both tumult and peace. And that courage made a difference in his journey to adopt revolutionary policies, including free education in the all-Western region. This is what an empowered woman can achieve, whether in her domestic life or as a public office holder. She was a fortress for marginalized women, inspiring generations to step into spaces where their voices were often absent. This provides context for Chief Awolowo's praise of her as his jewel of inestimable value.
It is a moment to salute Nigeria's progress over the last century. But guided by Odua's example of clear-eyed action, today must also be a moment to take a sober reflection of the challenges that are still with us. Today also marks, as we just heard, the 25th anniversary of the International Day for the elimination of violence against women, and the start of the 16 days of activism against sexual and gender-based violence, a stark reminder that we are still continuing to fail half of the global's population in a number of ways. Globally, we are witnessing not only stagnation, but reversals in the hard-won progress on women's rights. Conflicts, economic downturns, and rising inequality are all making matters very much worse. In Nigeria, as in many parts of the world, our challenges remain significant. 65% of women live below the poverty line. We rank 125th on the Global Gender Gap Index. Female legislators hold seats in only 13 out of the 36 state houses of assembly, an important step, but still a far cry from the full representation women deserve. These are more than statistics. They reflect the systemic barriers of discrimination, violence, and limited opportunities that hold back the potential of our women and young girls. At the same time, I believe that the key to addressing these challenges can be found in the inspiring example and the legacy that H.I.D. Awolowo left for us.